Hello, Nitro fans, Racing 393, and now we're here for part 3 of my Mardave Marauder rebuild. Now, in this video, we get the car fully back together. Most things I've put on it. That includes the different fuel tank, the engines in there, some fuel line, and the bottom of the battery tray. There's no electrics in it yet. What I plan to do for part 4 is I'm pretty sure I've got an old servo laying around, and I can just bolt that into the rear of the car with the throttle linkage, and hopefully try and get it to some form of running. As previously mentioned many times, and I'm not sure this is going to work. The engine has absolutely no compression. I thought it might have improved it a bit from what I did. Maybe it has ever so slightly, but I don't think it's going to work. The engine does have a piston ring, which in itself is something unusual. So maybe it won't have as a higher compression as what a non-piston ring nitro engine would. I'm not quite sure specification wise of a older nitro stroke gas. I don't know. I mean, a gas engine is different to a nitro engine, is it not? But this has got all the hallmarks of a nitro engine. So I don't know whether the fuel needs to be different or should be different. I've no idea. But unless I'm told otherwise, I will be trying this on normal nitro fuel, which may or may not work. But I can't see why it won't work. However, the fact that it's got very limited, if any, compression to speak of, would it work anyway? So that's planned for part 4. So we get the majority of, say, this rebuilt, put back together. It's been put back together really nice. So I'm quite chuffed with it. It is very Heath Robinson design. It is, like I said, 1981, wasn't it? 81, 82, somewhere around there. And I know they come out in various different editions or whatever. So Mark 1, 2, I'm pretty sure there is a Mark 3. I don't know the difference between those, so I haven't looked into that far. I don't know what this is. I don't know if it's a Mark 1 with a Mark 2 body or whatever. I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that know their stuff on these Mardave. So if you do know the details, nevertheless, just stick them in the comments section, and I'll try and I'll get back to you on that because it's interesting. Yeah, so onwards and upwards. Let's get this sucker put back together. Welcome to part 3 of the Mardave Marauder build. Okay, quick update. I've cleaned most of it down. You probably see here some bits and pieces. There's still a bit more cleaning to do. It's not in bad condition, I've got to say. I've got a indoors. I do have a ultrasonic cleaner, which I'll bring into here to do some cleaning soon. And I've got some ultrasonic cleaner. So the ultrasonic baths indoors, and this is the ultrasonic cleaner. I'm going to use this with a bit of luck to clean up the nuts and bolts that I'm going to use. Now I'm waiting for a container that all these bits and pieces can go into before I do that. I do have a selection here, and there's also in here, well, some of these I'm going to need some hardware for this, which is new, but I'm going to try and clean up the old stuff first because it's not in bad condition, it's just rusty.
So bits I've cleaned as well. Something needs to be a bit cleaner. Some of the aluminium, but it is a lot cleaner than what it was, and much better to work with. So you can see here, I'm going to do a bit more rub down and polish on some of this stuff. I have got to do the chassis now. And I've also got a little bit of a cold, which is rubbish. So this is going to be cleaned in a minute. Roll bar, that'll need a little bit of a clean. It's better than it was. It was rusty, but it's in pretty good nick. Rear wishbones, I'm not sure how to get those pins out. I might have to, I don't know, because this spring's a bit bent. Can you see that? The top. So I've got to try and straighten that out. The other one's there, so they're not bad. Axles came up alright. All came off, all clean. And then the gears themselves, which are not bad. I've cleaned them up pretty well, I think. As you can see there. Hopefully show the camera. Can you see that? Let me zoom in a bit more, I don't know. Is that blurry? Is it? Yeah, there. I don't know if that was in focus or not. And I've got to get these ends off actually, because yeah, they're not coming off. It could be that I've still got them attached. So I'm going to do that in a minute, and also that's the other end. I'm going to try and take the screws out so that I can clean these up a bit better. I'll probably do it in the ultrasonic cleaner, to be honest, because I have got a little bit of surface rust on there. But yeah, so that's going to be what I'm going to do next. Clean that up. There's the original air filter. People say, is it knackered? Is it knackered? It might not be. I think it might be split here. It might be alright. I think I might give it a go and clean it anyway. And we've also got the servo saver, which does need to be cleaned, so that'll be something else separately. The rest of the hardware and the carb. Yeah, so it's not going too bad. So I'm gonna crack on with some of this, and then I'm gonna be back showing you what it'll be starting for the reassembly. I hope, maybe the reassemble of it. So in this video we'll hopefully get some of this put back together again. Yeah, just sort of thinking out loud. Yeah, alright, so I'm going to clean up what I can. I'm still waiting for, like I said, there's like a container which I put into an ultrasonic bath that holds everything, like a meshed box, if you like. I haven't got that yet. These wheels and tyres also need cleaning, which I also might do, because these are 1/8 stock car tyres, or the fronts are, and I think the backs are like 1/8 pan car tyres. These are really light, the back. Fronts are really heavy. Yeah, I think the fronts are really dense foam. They need cleaning, which they're going to be done, and the backs are super light. Yeah. Okay, let me do that. Right, the chassis is all cleaned. Gonna rub it down. Wheels and tyres are kind of well used, but they're cleaner now. I wouldn't say they're going to be brilliant. They've come up alright though, the plastics. But I think what I'm going to spend a bit of time doing now, which I won't film, there's no point, is rubbing down the chassis and the aluminium parts. Yeah, I'm going to do that now so it's ready, and then we can start thinking about cleaning up the hardware properly with the ultrasonic cleaner. So I'm gonna crack on with that. Got to remember where my rubbing down paper is. And then I've got some polish, aluminium metal polish, which I'll probably use, and I'll be back when that's all done. And it's cleaner anyway. I need some Scotch Brite. I haven't got any, but It'll do. It'll do. Looks right. Roll cage. Chassis. Yeah, it's got good. Axles. Right. Just clean the hardware. So I've just used the ultrasonic cleaner. I'm going to give you a little bit of a demonstration of before and after. Well, they're like the rear coupling carriers, and they were really mucky. You can see that they're like really clean now. So I didn't show you these before. I don't think I did anyway. But that's quite clean. So I've got a bunch of the rest of the hardware here. I'll show you it now. So that's going to go into the machine at about 60 degrees. I've got some plastics in there which I'm going to sort of deform, and these, and for about 20 minutes. So I'm going to pop that in. As I showed yesterday, that's the stuff I use. So for jewellery. Right, I'm going to stick this on now. It's going to be a bit noisy, so I'm not going to leave it on. So power it on. Where's my lid? Here. The water's gone down to 70 degrees, and it was at 85. Like I said, because I've got plastic in there, I'm just putting the temperature up to 65 degrees, and 20 minutes. So it's a bit noisy. I'm going to leave that running, and I'll be back in a minute.
So this was part of the video where there's two things that happened here. When I put the cleaner on, and amongst other things, I won't go into details here, but it knocked the electric out. So that was one hassle. The second one was I didn't realise once I got back that I didn't put the microphone on. So I'm rabbiting away there, and I don't know what I'm saying now. I can't remember. But anyway, we're getting the car back together. This is me putting in the sort of part of the diff, if you like. I'm not sure which way round that has to go. I can't remember. I didn't look. I should have done. I don't know if I left it that way or turned it round. I think I did, because when you put the engine in, it could go backwards. It's a bit of a mission to strip down to get that out, but I think before I get that far, I'll probably check. Put it all back together with this marine grease. This is waterproof grease, so it's all on the pivot points, and you can see there it's all back together now. Got the diff in, the gear, the pinion, and sort of the main engine gear. So it goes together quite nicely. It moves very freely. I think one of the springs on the back of the car is slightly bent, which is a little bit of a problem, but it still works as suspension on a car like this. It's very basic anyway. There's no damping. You can see here we're trying to put at least offer the engine where it should go. It's fairly obvious based on the fitment on the chassis, but we go back to me speaking now, so that's enough of me waffling onto an empty screen.
Right, so hopefully got sound now. I forgot the microphone yesterday. Oops. As you can see, the back's on there. That spring's bent at the top. There's not a lot I can do. It still kind of works, so that'll be fine. I'm just putting these standoffs off now on the chassis. I've done one, but I can't remember where the nuts are. The hardware to fit it on there. So I've also got to tidy up. It's getting a bit messy in here, but never mind. Never mind. Right, let me. Let's find. Yes, I'm wearing gloves. Fed up with getting greasy hands with old nitros, but even though. Right, let's sort some space and hardware. In. Motor in. Got a bit of an odd screw there, but not much I can do. That's the front on. Front geometry. Just got to fix the ends, the track control arms. Very Heath Robinson, if I'm honest, but it'll do for now. Well, there you go. What do you think? Almost a rolling chassis. It's gone together quite nicely. I've got to put some posts in here for fuel tank, and when the time comes, receiver. That's the throttle linkage. I think what I might do now is put the front springs on. I'm not sure how they went on there now, can't remember, but the front springs will go on. Wheels and tyres, so it's a roller, and then a bit of a clear up. So I'm going to get it to a rolling chassis, so it's on wheels, sitting on the deck with the springs, the tyres on. Probably put these on as well. This is for the the original fuel tank, although that one's going on. I've got, as you know, I've got this one, and then a bit of a clear up, because then it'll be a case of just trying to free up the back a little bit. It's a bit tense at the back. Just trying to think what else. Let me just get to a rolling chassis first, and then I'll come back and show you. It's a bit tidy. I've got mess everywhere. And there it is, like it's done, which it isn't. It's a roller, which it was anyway, I suppose, but it's certainly a lot cleaner than it was. That's really good, I like that. The only other thing I've got to do now is figure out a way to put the fuel tank in there, or this fuel tank. There's a couple of posts to go on for the fuel tank, which will be here. The exhaust has got to go on. I'm just waiting for some bolts so I can put the exhaust on. I suppose I could put it on, even though it hasn't got to be screwed on fully. Air cleaner on there. Throttle linkage. Yeah, so the exhaust could go on with one bolt, because I've got some gaskets here. The next, I've got to fit this on. I'm waiting for some bits. I've got to get another gasket now. Maybe I've got to try and fit the fuel tank on. Not sure which way round to go with that yet. Might go that way round. And then will it start? Who knows? We're back down that road again. Yeah, I enjoyed that. 1981. It's super dated. It's not really a. I'm just glad it's back on all four wheels. I don't even know where the body shell is. So, haven't cleaned it or done nothing to it. So that's better. I didn't realise it moved on that. I don't think it's on there very well. So that, let me sit down. That's going to conclude part 3. Part 3. Yeah. The next in part 4 will be the fuel tank will be on. I need an exhaust gasket. I mean, I have got exhaust gasket paste if push comes to shove. I'm just waiting for the bolts. They're not long enough. Yeah, and then we'll give it a, I don't know, will it fire up? I doubt it. But it does look much cleaner. You see that? I haven't done nothing with the shell. Probably, I don't know. Should I run it without a wing or with a wing? What do you reckon? Maybe a wing with, like I said before, with that sort of poking up like this. Right, what do you think? I'll send to part 3. Let me know your comments. Give us some feedback. I've done a bit more than I anticipated now. So, fuel line's not the stuff I'm going to use, especially not from the carb to the tank, because I don't want it coloured. But I did put the new battery box on, which looks all good. The rear, the roll bar is not twisted anymore, and it is fairly free now. Just hoping I've got that on the right way around. It'd be a bit of a ball ache if I've got to take all this off, but it'd have to be, wouldn't it? Fuel tank's kind of on there. Well, it is on there. It's not going anywhere. I can still get to it. So, well, we'll say electrics. I think what I might do is trying to think. The throttle servo goes on the back, so I could perhaps. I probably have got an old servo somewhere which I haven't sold yet, just so I can control the throttle, maybe. And then maybe you get some, you know, this is not the air cleaner. It's one that came with it, but I'm not going to use this air cleaner. I don't think it's particularly very good. But I've done exhaust paste for the gasket and used the old hardware. I will change these once I get the new bolts. Yeah, the carb's peculiar. I don't even think it is going to be the one for this car, but anyway, there's other things that got to be done to it first, but that's it for now. It's fairly free, noisy, but it is fixed. Not a bad shelf clean. I don't know if that won't fit on, will it? There's no point putting the new shell on. I think I might clean this one up. maybe respray it or something for now. So it's not, because it does fit, and it fits okay, he says. I think it's slightly twisted at the back there, I'm not sure why. It's probably the roll cage. There we go. Protect the wing off, I expect. Do something with that, like I said. Yeah, it's a bit twisted at the back there. It's probably this. Slightly out. But there you have it. I don't necessarily need to put the wiring back on this side. But it looks alright, doesn't it? I mean, it's alright, 82. 81, 82. There's no front bumper on this. But it's still very much a retro car. Once it runs, if it runs, if I can just get it to fire, it'll be a bonus. Then I'll do the shell. I'll probably just rub it down, and it's hard plastic. Just respray it for now. Anyway, what do you think? Good? I know I've shown you it before, but I can't quite see exactly on there, but what do you reckon? Very old, isn't it? Very retro, but very complete. Right, that is definitely it now. End of part 3. Lucky you, part 4 is going to be an attempt, another 3-hour effort. I might even have to try and get another engine, if I'm honest. It's just a 0 on this engine. Don't know. But anyway, non-bearing wheels run fine. A little bit of grease. Totally old school. Yeah, so I'm fiddling. Into part 3. Hope you enjoyed that one. Like and subscribe, and if you want to follow for the next one, part 4 will be very soon. And who knows? Who knows if it will run? Thanks for watching. See you later.